Hey guys, FunnyGuyTimmy here. I'm sitting down for this video just because I've been running around standing the whole time, but as you can tell, I'm not any taller. My head is at exactly the same height. It's a really tall chair, but I'm exactly the same height. So anyway, so it actually kind of works as a chair I'm exactly where I would be if I was doing voiceover. Anyway, I wanted to talk about a project that I was working on. This one's a little bit more of just a vlog. This is just a rant. I don't really think you guys are going to learn anything from this one. But a while back, probably about 2 years ago, I wrote a really, really short film. And I got a friend to basically shoot it for me. And we did the casting, and I helped kind of with the directing, assistant directing. I'd never really done like assistant directing before. And I did the costumes, I negotiated the makeup, I paid for the whole thing. And so I still have the footage. I still have all the footage of the project. And originally, I had hired someone to edit it, to do a basic edit. It was someone that me and the director were friends with. And so one of the reasons that I didn't want to edit it was because the way he had shot the film, the way he had shot the short film, wasn't structured in a way that you can edit on really any other program. He didn't want to use a clacker board. He wanted to use an iPad. So there was no sound spike. So as an audio engineer, you don't know. You're looking at the sound waves and you have no idea when the footage and the things start. You have no idea. There's no marker. You can't do it visually. Also, it was in a format that some of my programs didn't use. My favorite program, Sony Vegas, just didn't really understand or operate all that well. And even if it did, I would have to line up all of the audio manually. I have to do it by ear, which would take forever because there was about 100 gigs of information. So I handed it off to someone who was more familiar with the program that would do it very, very well, which is Adobe Premiere. So the way the director had done it, and I don't want to say his name because I don't want to put him on blast. That's how he directs. That's how he does films, all that kind of stuff. But I'll get to it in a second. So I handed it off to the editor who was familiar, who had worked with him before and was very fluent with Adobe Premiere. I have Adobe Premiere. I have the entire Adobe suite. I just don't use Adobe that much. It's not structured in a way that's fluid to me. You have to I like being able to zoom in to a moment. I like editing moment by moment. I like zooming in to that freeze frame of time when you're looking at the timeline. Sony Vegas, you scroll and you zoom in or you zoom out. In Adobe Premiere, you scroll across the timeline. Well, I don't want to do that. I don't want to scroll across the timeline. If I want to move across this timeline, I'll move slowly. I'm never going to want to zip quickly back and forth across the timeline. And if you move the mouse over the side where it's got the label of each track or the labeling of each track, and you scroll, it widens, elongates, or stretches out the timeline, but you don't zoom in. You can zoom in if you hold Alt and then mouse wheel. So it's not. I really hate Adobe Premiere. I've been trying to use it for the past 3 years. But every time, I keep having trouble with it. There's always a feature that in every other program is right there where you need it. It's very obvious where it is, and it doesn't take very long to learn it. With Adobe Premiere, you literally have to have a course, or it literally takes you years to actually get good at it. As opposed to Sony Vegas, I pretty much mastered everything from the beginning. So going to Adobe Premiere, which has basically all the buttons completely backwards, and basically everything having to be hotkey. There's no left click, pull up a thing. So, handed it off to him, he had all the footage for about 8 months. And then he didn't do anything with it. Talked to him, found out he didn't do anything. And he was very busy, something going on in his life. It's fine. Things happen. It's all good. I reminded him that I was going to pay him, so there was incentive. It wasn't that I was just expecting him to do all this hard work for nothing. He was like, I don't want to do it anymore. I was, all right, fine. So the director goes and he picks up the footage. He's like, I'm going to edit it. I was like, okay, cool. And then I sat back and I waited. And then found out another 6-8 months, he didn't do anything with it. And he handed it off to another editor. And I was like, all right, do you trust this guy? He's like, yeah, he's good. I have no idea who this guy is. So he hands the footage off to him. And another 6 months go by and nothing is done. Nothing is done with the footage. And I'm like, just give me the footage. Just give me the footage. And he doesn't know where the dude, he can't contact him or something like that. I don't remember what it was, but he can't get the footage from that guy. And so I go and I get a hard drive, and he still has a copy on he still has a copy. And so I go and I get a hard drive, another hard drive, because I already bought the first one. And so we burn everything onto a second hard drive, and I bring it home. And I find out that he doesn't have the audio tracks in the files that he gave me. Fortunately, I had kept all the audio tracks on my end. So I still had the audio tracks. I put them onto the hard drive. So now I got everything on the hard drive. But now I have to edit the whole thing using a program that I'm not very fluent with and that frustrates the crap out of me. And this program, Adobe Premiere, I know that it's a good program. I know that the industry uses it for everything. I know people edit films with it. I know this and I know that. I don't care. I hate Adobe Premiere. And I don't know how to like Adobe Premiere. I can't find it in me to learn to love Adobe Premiere. I can't. But the only way to basically edit this footage, because there was no clackboard, which as a sound guy, I love the clackboard. The clackboard, the clap, whatever, is my absolute friend. I think we do that later on. So there's like a second half of the footage, I think on a second day, I think, because we shot for 2 days, I think. So there should be some later on that has spikes, but the first half doesn't. And so I have to sync it up doing auto syncing or whatever in Adobe Premiere, which you have to do one clip and one audio file at a time. And it is, the files are also not labeled, and we have more audio files than the footage, and it's not just the room tone. It's not just that. It's just a lot of times when people just hit record by accident or something. And I know that that's not Adobe's fault, but people have been asking me, where is this film? Where is this short film? And yeah, it's been a while, and I really feel bad because, I mean, basically the entire show was on me. Basically the entire, not show, but the entire short film was on me. I wrote it, produced it, I cast it, and now I have to edit it, and I'm really just not good at editing. I really want it to be done, but it's just something about Adobe. And one of the major problems that I have with Adobe is that, okay, so in any other program, there's basically just one layout. There's one dashboard. In Adobe Premiere, there's tons of other dashboards. And everyone has their layout positioned differently. So if you go to watch a tutorial on how to do something, and you're looking at their monitor, you're looking at their layout, you're looking at their project, and it doesn't look like what you're looking at. It doesn't look the same. There's nothing about that looks familiar because they've rearranged everything. They put all this over here, and everyone has their own thing. So it's very hard to learn Adobe on your own. So that's just kind of a thing. Yeah, this is just kind of a rant. Not really a rant, but just it's it's the one thing in the past couple years that I wish I could change. I wish I could have done something. And it's the one project where I felt like I let a lot of people down. Pretty much everything else has been pretty much okay. I've done some stand-up that I regret and I wish I could not do, but that's the one thing that even if I finish it now, I feel like nobody's going to care. I feel like nobody's going to care anymore. Nobody's going to trust me. No one's going to want to work with me anymore. And that's the one project that haunts me to this day because I can't do it. I just can't do it. So, anyway, people ask me like, what's something that bothers you or what's something that you could change, and that was what reminded me of that, and that's the one thing that I'd change. That's the one thing that I would do differently. Would be that project. Not necessarily not shooting it. I had a lot of fun. I think it's gonna be good if I can ever get it edited. But anyway, so that's just kind of me opening up for a second because I haven't done one of these in a while. I haven't done a video where I've just opened up and just talked about me or my problems for a while. Not that it's really that bad. I don't want anyone to be concerned about me. Be like, is Tim going to be okay? We should call him. I'm going to be fine. Just every now and then, there's these little things that happen with me. I try to tackle too much. I have two projects that a project that I'm casting and another one that I'm about to cast, and one of them's a fan dub, the other one's an original parody series, and I try to tackle too many things. And the fact that some of these things nothing happens to, or nothing gets to, it doesn't go the way that I had envisioned, or it becomes a lot more difficult than I had hoped, that bothers me. That really bothers me, especially when people are disappointed. Letting people down and disappointing people, I guess that's the point of this video, is I really feel bad when I disappoint people. And so, anyway, basically I'm just going to be posting this out there, and anyone who's been wondering about that can now know. That's it. But I am working on it. It's just, I hate Adobe. So, anyway, thank you guys for watching. If you don't like this video, fine, good. I'm glad you don't like the video. But if you did like the video, let me know, and I'll know there's something wrong with you. If you're new, subscribe. If you have any questions, leave them down below. Until next time, peace.